And function gives true result for empty, blank cell, y. I have blank B2 cell. A simple logical test on it returns false. Yet when directly used in an and statement, it returns true. Of course, when indirectly used in an and statement, it still returns false. Could you explain me please why my Excel behave in that way?
Extracted from here, look for the section titled Excel Logical Functions, Facts and Figures. In Excel, when you are using logical functions, and, XOR, not, or, if any of the arguments contains text values or empty cells, such values are ignored.
TL, Dr. It is an artifact of how Excel stores and exchanges cell contents internally. An empty cell is a variant with no value, which converts to false due to how programming languages treat the truthiness of zero and non-zero values. The behavior of and all of the other logical functions, is to convert both arguments into booleans, then perform a logical and operation on them. You can peel back the covers and take a look at how it is defined in the Excel object model using Object Browser of the Visual Basic Editor. Note that it returns a boolean, not a variant. This means that at some point during the process of evaluating the function, all of the arguments have to be converted to booleans. The actual observed behavior indicates that this is done early in the processing. Excel tries to be user-friendly by attempting to convert all of the arguments and using the converted values in the calculation if it succeeds. This can be demonstrated by passing the string values true and false to the function. It also can be demonstrated with numerical arguments. It treats any non-zero value as true and zero as false. It has the same behavior in combinations. By now you should get the picture. So how does this relate to testing a blank cell? The answer to this lies in how Excel stores the contents of a cell internally. Again, the Excel object model is enlightening. Note that it is a convariant structure. This structure basically contains two parts, a type, which tells the code using it how to interpret it, and a data area. A cell with no contents in Excel will have a value that is represented by a variant with the subtype VT_empty. Again, this can be confirmed with a macro. So what happens when the and function converts that to a boolean? Good question. It happens to be false, similar to how programming languages typically treat zero. You can see the same behavior by omitting arguments entirely. Is the same thing as, which is the same as, which is,
as per my comment on it, J. Sibermu's answer, with a small correction. If any but not all of the arguments contain text in cell values or empty cells, such values are ignored. But if all arguments contain text in cell values or empty cells, the function returns #value. With the correction implying, if one or more of the arguments is text from a string literal, as opposed to text in a cell reference, then the result is #value. That is, if cell A1 has value ABC, then equals an A1 true returns true, but equals an ABC true returns #value. See rows 9 through 13 in the image below. But it gets stranger.
Equals is blank B2 gives true if B2 is empty not blank space. Equals and B2, true, should be. Equals and B2 equals, true, you have to write the value, B2 empty return true, and the second logical is true and will return true. Equals if B2, true, false, should be equals if B2 equals, true, false, will give true. Equals and if B2, true, false, true, should be equals and if B2 equals, true, false, true, will give true. Try always to write all the test and don't think Excel will do. Remember always the logical test in your formulas not test for B2. How to use the if function. Excel and function.
So microsoftexcel equals